on record, she choreographed ménage à trois, ensuring that she was the only member of the threesome who was aware of what was going on, and twice she involved a fourth participant. She found time during her busy career as a nymphomaniac to fall deeply in love, becoming enchanted by 5 women in particular. More intriguing than what Highsmith said or did with them were the entries on how she felt in her private diaries and cahiers, notebooks. She was a prolific diary keeper, her diaries alone coming to more than 8,000 pages. The beginning of each relationship is recorded in terms of otherworldly ecstasy, but the hyperbole of infatuation is always accompanied by predictions of murder and death, which usually turned out to be accurate. Not literally, but in terms of the butchery of emotions or the extermination of love. Typically, beauty, perfection, completion, all achieved and seen. Death is the next territory, one step to the left. One of her long-term lovers did attempt suicide and failed, but only just. Highsmith watched as her girlfriend washed down half a bottle of high-strength barbiturates with gin and then left for supper with friends, one of whom Highsmith had had sex with the day before. One of Highsmith's closest friends commented on her disposition as a whole. She was an equal opportunity offender. You name the group, she hated them. Her hate list was impressive in its diversity. Latinos, Black people, Koreans, Indians, South Asian, Red Indians, the Portuguese, Catholics, evangelicals and fundamentalists, and Mexicans, among others. In 1992, she visited her erstwhile girlfriend, Mary Jane Meeker, in America, and glancing around a diner, remarked on how the vast majority of customers were African American. Meeker assumed that she was acknowledging how things had changed since their youth when discrimination was routine. But no. To Highsmith, there were so many of them because of their animal-like breeding habits that it was common knowledge that Black men became physically ill without a regular diet of sex and were too stupid to realize that unprotected intercourse led to pregnancy. Despite, or perhaps because of, spending 10 years as a permanent resident of France, Highsmith cultivated a loathing for all Gallic customs and persons. While she occasionally displayed nostalgic feelings for her native land of America, these were aberrations from her long-standing contempt for the place. She disliked Arabs, mainly for, in her opinion, their poor standards of hygiene, but she made an exception with the Palestinian cause. It was not so much that she sympathized with this small Middle Eastern nation of the dispossessed. Rather, her support for Palestine reflected her feelings about another group of people which she abhorred far more than any other: Jews. She regretted that the Nazis had only succeeded in exterminating less than half of the globe's Jews, and even coined a term to describe their negligence: semi-caust. Another of her contributions to the linguistics of genocide was Holocaust, Inc. In Highsmith's view, the Holocaust was by parts an exaggeration, in terms of the number slaughtered, and an enterprise employed by Jews, Israel in particular, to exploit the collective conscience of the rest of the world and squeeze money from it. She once confessed to a friend that she enjoyed the rural areas of Switzerland, where she spent her final years, because they seemed like Europe as envisioned by the Nazis after the successful completion of the final solution. Jews, if they existed at all, were certainly somewhere else. And yet, 3 of the women to whom she declared her unbounded love were Jewish. With one woman in particular, Marian Abudaram, Highsmith took a particular interest in her physiognomy and the hair distribution on the rest of her anatomy, along with the experiences of her mother who had survived the Nazi occupation of Paris. As I will show, Highsmith's novels are a lifelong autobiography, though certainly not in the sense that all of her characters are modeled either on herself or on those she knew. She was not, like Ripley, a murderous psychopath, but he was shaped by her personality, often as a means of rewriting her life and opinions as a special form of masochism. Few things that happened in her novels relate directly to her.